Hey there guys, I'm John. Welcome to my kitchen and welcome to Quick Tips. No, I'm not a chef, I've never been to culinary school. I'm just a guy who likes to eat and likes to cook. I've gotten a lot of questions from people I know about how do I do this and how do I do that, and one of the things I get most frequently is, how do you make gravy? I never get it to work right. It always turns into wallpaper paste. So that's what we're going to look at today. Today we're looking at gravy. So here we have some of the essential things that you're going to need to make a good gravy. You're going to need some fat, you're going to need something to mix it with, you're going to need some salt, you're going to need some pepper, and you're going to need some liquid. I don't see any liquid. Why don't I see any liquid? Well, because my liquid is still in the fridge. You're going to want your liquid to be very, very cold, and we can't forget the flour. That big tin right there, that's where my flour is. Can't forget that. Let's get to cooking. Okay guys, so first steps first. You got to decide what kind of gravy you're making. Today I'm going to go with a sausage gravy. So I got my sausage. I'm going to plop it down in this pan as it's coming to temperature. It's still kind of a cold pan. Why am I putting it in a cold pan? Because that cold pan is going to help it render out more of the fat. So we're going to cook this sausage, and once we're done with that, we're going to move on to the next step. All right, as you guys can hopefully hear, we're starting to get a little bit of sizzle in that sausage, and that's a good thing. We want to get a nice good color on that sausage. That's just going to help build a little bit more flavor in our gravy. And guys, I'm a big fan of just flipping and flipping as you feel like you need to. And the more you flip, not necessarily the better, not necessarily the worst. I'm not a big fan of just letting it sit, get burned on one side, raw on the other, and then flip it over. That's not going to help anything. So just let your meat, whatever you're using to help build that gravy, get some color on it. Let it release that fat into the pan, because you're going to need every ounce of fat you can get. Alright, as you guys can see, we've gotten some good color on this sausage, and now it's time to make a decision. Do I want whole sausage, or do I want crumbles in my gravy? If I want crumbles in my gravy, now's kind of part of that time, and we're going to come in and we're just going to chop it up. It doesn't have to be pretty, it's going to taste good. And I'm just doing this for me, so not worrying about it. Now you can do this when you first throw it in with the raw sausage, kind of like you would ground beef, but I kind of like to get that color on my sausage first, and then kind of break it up and let it keep on going for a minute. That's just kind of how I do it. Alright, now we got this sausage all crumbled up in here. We got another thing we got to worry about. Is there enough fat in this pan? For me, that answer is a resounding no. So we're going to take a little of this butter you saw earlier, maybe about a tablespoon. A tablespoon? Yeah, maybe about a tablespoon. And we're just going to plop that right into the pan. And we're just going to let that melt. Get a little bit more fat in there. Got all this good fat and flavor. Alright. Now for the part that scares people. I'm going to kind of pull this sausage over to one side real quick. It's got a lot of fat there, a lot of good fat. Now I'm going to get my flour. Got my flour. I'm going to get me a big spoon. I think I'm probably going to need about that much flour. Maybe about that much. No, don't worry about exact measurements. You want to try and get close to 1-to-1 on that. Now, I'm switching to a metal whisk. Now, my pan is safe for a whisk. So I can whisk this all I want to. It's not going to hurt the surface of my pan. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to whisk for a minute. But oh my gosh, look at all those lumps. Oh no, that's what the whisk's for, guys. And don't worry about that. We still got some fat coming out of that sausage. And if you look, that flour is starting to darken a little bit. You want this to go for a minute or two. You want to start smelling that toasty smell of flour. You want to get that raw edge off the flour. Now, here's the kicker. The darker your roux gets, the less thickening power it has. Now, I'm going for kind of a brownish, light brown, blondish roux. Now, the butter's going to do a little of that for me. But I think that's looking pretty good right there. Now it's time for my milk, and I'm going to run over to the fridge and grab that. Because the number one rule when you're making gravy, hot roux, cold liquid, smooth gravy. I'm just going to pour this right in. Give that a nice big stir. That roux's hot. That milk is cold. And I'm just going to keep on whisking this. Just keep on whisking. Break up all that little flour. It's going to get rid of all those lumps for me. Now, what if my gravy's too thick? But John, your gravy's too thick. Look how thick that's getting real quick. Well, if it's getting too thick, that means I need more milk, and I can just put in some more milk. And that is not a problem. Guys, I haven't thrown any salt or any pepper in this yet. Okay? I'm going to stir this up. And once this gets to that boil, that's going to be about as thick as it's going to get. And that's really where we want to start thinking about seasoning. So we're going to bring this back up. Notice I'm still whisking, I'm coming around the edge of this pan, making sure I'm getting all that beautiful, beautiful roux off of it. Okay? All that beautiful roux. Just come on back up. And it'll get there. It's okay. Just have faith in it. Just have faith in your gravy. Have faith in it. We're not there yet, but we're getting there. And we're going to have a beautiful sausage gravy. Now, I'm going to leave my whisk sitting right there so I don't get it on the counter. Oh, good, good, good. We're going to take a little pinch of kosher salt, and we're just going to sprinkle that in there. I'm not sure how much it's going to need, but we're going to start with a pinch, and then we're going to take some pepper. We're going to put lots of pepper in there, and you're going, oh my gosh, that's too much pepper. When it comes to gravy, there's no such thing. You cannot have too much pepper in a gravy. They have just straight up pepper gravies that are basically butter, flour, milk, and gravy. And pepper. Listen to me, milk, flour, pepper, and butter. And that's all you got. Now, I don't know if this is good or not yet. I don't know what we've got yet. So what am I going to do? Got to taste it. So, we're going to come in here with this spoon. You see if I drag the spoon like that, maybe you can start seeing the path it's leaving. Still whisking, still going. All right, let's get us a little taster, shall we? I'm thinking you're probably going to need more salt, but let's get a taster real quick. Smells pretty good. That gravy's hot. Woo! Hot gravy. Yep, we're going to need some more salt. We're going to put a little bit more salt in there. Now I use kosher salt because I can control it a little better. It's a little bit more pinchable. Right, I'm going to go ahead and kill this heat. There's enough heat in the pan to keep doing what I want it to do. We are getting good and thick. 3 C's thick. Here we go. All right, let's get in there and give it another taster, shall we? I think we got enough pepper. All right. Yes, sir. We have gravy. All right. Now, What do you need? Sausage gravy. With sausage gravy every time, gotta have a biscuit. So, let's get a biscuit. All right, now we got our biscuits and our gravy. Don't worry about the biscuits, guys. That's, as Alton Brown would say, that's another show. But let's see if we did okay on these biscuit and gravy. That's some damn fine gravy. That's some really good gravy, guys. Hopefully this will help you stop turning your flour, fat, and milk into wallpaper paste. I'll see you guys next time on Quick Tips. Have a good one.